Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to get this underbay prepped for steel I bought. We'll start welding up our sides for the underbay, but at first I have mud flaps to take off the front. I have to grind all the undercoating off. Then we have to fix some U-bolts that hold the actual body of the bus to the frame. I'll show you what's going on there. Someone tried to fix it and didn't do a very good job, so we'll have to fix it right. So here we go. So I found the first major problem on the bus here. This U-bolt has actually torn out on the other side of the floor panel here. They tried to fix it, but they didn't put any rubber spacers back underneath the panels. Go over here, there's a rubber spacer that keeps the frame and the actual cab of the bus isolated from each other, keeps them from rubbing. So right up here, yeah, it's rubbing, and this U-bolt is actually rubbing on a nut that's on the frame here. Try to get you in here. So it is, yeah, not long for this world. So we will get this pulled off and jack up the floor. It should be easy without the weight of all the seats and all that on there. So we'll get that jacked up and get some rubber back underneath there. Get everything protected, because there is a floor squeak right now. So I'm going to take you around to the other side of the bus and show you the other side, because it's way worse than this side. So here you can see the damaged frame rail here. Not a frame rail, but a floor panel. It's actually torn clear through, and this U-bolt isn't really doing much. So I'll have to fabricate a little bracket to stiffen that up. And we'll put this one back in, and they're actually missing the next one that should go right here. We'll put that in, and then we should have a nice sturdy foundation for our house. So here you're looking at the inside of the frame rail here. This is the U-bolt that I'm taking out. And as you can see, it is completely compromised. It's either kind of rusted out or yeah, had something bad happen to it. So I'm glad I caught this, and we'll get this fixed. That whole channel is pretty well destroyed. So this is what was actually underneath there. This is the rail that's supposed to be still attached to the bus. That's part of the floor panel. And then they put this little piece of metal in there and put the U-bolt through that, but it didn't really help them that much. This is all just sitting on top of the frame rail. So now I have my lower and upper supports in here, and I have a rubber spacer between the frame rail and my supports. Now I just have to put the U-bolts in. So I'm using nylock locking nuts on top and bottom, so I don't have to worry about getting Loctite in there or rounding off the threads or anything like that. So now that I have the replacement U-bolts in, I am going to get rubber spacers under the floor reinforcing ribs that don't have them. And as soon as I get those in, I can suck everything tight by tightening up these U-bolts. Now that I have all my pieces cut to go in between the frame and the floor, I will get these put in. I'll use that lift and we'll just jack up the floor and stick them in and let the lift down. So now I have rubber spacers in between each of these frame rails and the main frame rails of the bus. Now I can let it down and then tighten everything up, and it should keep them all there. So here is my U-bolt fix. I have 2x3 angle iron underneath the floor panel. On top of that I have a 1x1 by I think 3/16 square tube, and running through that is my ready rod. I have 1/2 inch ready rod with 5/8 inch plate at the bottom, all with nylock nuts. And then I put new spacers between the frame and the floor where they were missing. So that same way on the other side. So that should stiffen it up. That's quite a bit more strength. I also have it cantilevering out just a little bit. Try to grab that floor and pinch it tight. The water tanks and everything will be in this general vicinity, so I want this area to be very rigid and I don't want to have to worry about it. So I ground these nuts down nice and smooth so we won't catch things when we're loading and unloading, because that will be inside the underbay. So the last thing I did on this U-bolt repair is I put some loom wrap around the all thread, and that protects the on both sides. It protects the wiring that rubs right up against it from being rubbed through by the threads on the all thread. So that should keep it from wrecking all the wiring that I have under here.